Welcome to the broadcast of Built to Win, the teaching ministry of Pastor Larnell and Cynthia Cheatham. Hello, I'm Sister Mary. Today, Pastor will be continuing from his series, Begin Again, Your Destiny Awaits. So listen, learn, and live how you are built to win.
And hallelujah, Jesus. I am continuing from my minister's assignment, which is course corrections. I am in division number 28. Listen, church, I am in part 8. I'm in a teaching that's entitled, Begin Again, Your Destiny Awaits. It is begin again, your destiny awaits. Church, let me do as I customarily do. For those who may be listening for the first time by way of CD, online, you may be here for the first time. Let me give you the purpose of this teaching. As you know, when I began this message several weeks ago, I told you our purpose was to cause us to know. It was to cause us to experience what? God's grace and God's mercy. Listen, and to embrace your new beginning. Did you get that? I mean, you got to always remember that. God said, listen, I want you to know and I want you to experience my grace and my mercy. Then he said, listen, I want you to embrace your new beginning. But here's the intent, church. And I said this to you. I admonished you. I said, listen, if we do not embrace, if we do not build upon this new beginning, listen, you will fall right back into the old cycle of repeats and re-enter the wilderness. You need to remember that one. God said, listen, if you choose not to, if you choose not to embrace this new beginning, he said, you're going to go right back to that same mess I delivered you out of. Here's the golden message. It was to provide a clear, concise, organized system that will allow us to do three things. Number one is to what? To build our new life. Number two is to show us how to embrace the journey. And number three is to give us the keys to walk in and to live in our destiny. Church, and you stay with me today, we're going to get to that part today. Listen to me. Let me just do a quick 10-minute review because we haven't been together for a minute, so I want to go over some things with you. Listen, the last time I said this to you right here, I said, listen, if you truly want to begin again, if you are serious about this fresh start that God has given us, he said, listen, I must break the strongholds of the past and the one thing. He said, you must do this, church. I'm going to tell you something. And this is all foundational, and you need to get this in your heart. He said, because if you really want to do this, he said, you must break the strongholds of the past and the one thing. We define the stronghold as that resistance, that pressure that pursues us. Church, listen to me. It pursues us to keep us, to hold us back, and to put us on lockdown. And God said, you got to break that thing. You got to break it. Number two, he said, listen, and the one thing, he said, that is that something, you know what that something is, that you hold so dearly that Jesus is saying to you, listen, he said, listen, I want you to release that and allow me to have that place. That's the one thing. Then I went on from there, church, and I told you this right here. I said, listen, I said to accomplish this, there was three things I said you must do. I said, step number one was this, don't be afraid of a loss. Step number two said, listen, know the value of what you will gain. I just can't get over that one. Step number three said, listen, know that position with God is greater than power with the world. So church, let's pick up from there, church, and start rolling into new information. Listen, I said, listen, underneath our step number three, I said this world system is designed to, number one, to pull. Then I said the world system, number two, it is designed to, listen, to manipulate you. And then number three, I said, listen, where we left off at, I said this world system is designed to saturate you. That's the area of church where I left off at. So let's go dive right into that portion of it. I said as a result of the pull and as a result of the manipulation of this world system, listen now, I said when we do not take heed, and some of us I know we just haven't taken heed, God said, I told you this world system, it is designed to pull you. It is designed to manipulate you. And he said, listen, and when you do not take heed, he said, listen, this world system will saturate you. Did you get that now? He said, this world system will saturate you. He said, listen, it will saturate you and engraft you. And listen to this word right here, in the cultures of the evils of this world. Now you need to listen to every specific word I give you when I say things like that. Because God said, let me tell you something. He said, listen, if you do not take heed, he said, you will become saturated. You will become engrafted. I mean, he's telling you what's going to happen. He said, into the culture of the evils of this world system. Listen to me. That's why racism makes no sense to me at all. See, God says it's not about racism. He gave Solomon the same warning in 1 Kings chapter 11. He didn't talk about no race because they were from this country or that country. He said, no. He said, you will become, listen, saturated and engrafted, he said, into the culture. It's about the culture, church. It's not about your skin color. It's about the culture. See, he said, because that culture, a lot of times people, different culture, they have different belief systems. Are you hearing me? See, and they believe in all these strange gods. He said, listen, if you don't take heed, he said, listen, you become engrafted into the culture of the evils of this world system. So our letter A was this. This was our letter A. It was the effects of saturation. The effects of saturation. He said, I want to let you know what happens when you become saturated. He said, it's the effects of saturation. He said, listen, number one is this. He said, you will no longer have a want to. That's the first thing they're going to do. It's going to take your want to. We said a want to is what? A strong knowing and a strong desire to rise above the events in my daily living that do not line up with the things that I know in God. That's the first thing the enemy going to take from you is your want to. It's your want to. See? Then the second thing he's going to take from you, listen. He said, when you become saturated, he said, you will no longer have a desire to. Your desire is gone, man. To live righteous and holy. So you wonder how these young people, man, can come to church and still go out there and listen to junk and garbage, man? Oftentimes they've gotten saturated, engrafted into the cultures of the evil of this world system that they no longer, man, they no longer have a want to. They no longer have a desire to. Then he says, listen, number three is this. You no longer have the power to. Are you hearing me? Even if you want to change, you no longer have the power to. To do what? Number four, to release and let go. He said, because you consume. You consume, man. You consume. See, we wonder how that happened. How did they go from smoking reefer, marijuana, now that's legal, seems like everywhere now. How did they go from that to crack cocaine? How did it happen, man? How did they go from watching Playboy magazine, man, to now pornography, man, and they're so engrafted, they're paying so much money, they're in debt from watching stuff online. How did it happen? He said, listen, they lost their want to. They lost their desire to. He said, and they lost their power to release and let go. Our letter B was this, church. This happened to Solomon. This happened to King Solomon. He said, our letter B was this. He said, the power of this world system through saturation. This is so good. He said, it's a power. It's a power of this world system. He said, through saturation is to get you, number one, to mix in. He said, that's what all the enemy trying to do is get you to mix in. He said, if he can get you to mix in, that means to mingle. Are you hearing me? Mm-hmm. To mingle. To hang out. Come on, man. Let's hang out a little bit, man. Come on, I'm trying to do this. Let's have some fun. Let's mingle for a while, okay? He said, listen. He said, it's to get you to mix in, to get you to mingle, to hang out. Then he said, the next thing happens is this. He said, listen, this is the one that scared me so much, was number two. He said, listen. He said, through saturation, number one is to get you to mix in. Number two is to get you to blend in. That one scared me, man. He said, it's to get you to blend in. Do you understand that? See, sometimes you got to listen to the words. You might have to go look it up. He said, it's to get you to blend in. When you blend in, you don't see a difference, man. You can't tell a difference. I mean, I know people, and in fact, my daughter got on me one time talking about people with tattoos, say, well, they don't have a problem, you don't have them, and whatever. But let me tell you something about that, see? The reason I have a challenge with a lot of things like that is, and I'm not hating on people that have them, because if they can't, Lord, it doesn't really matter. But see, you don't understand. The enemy is putting his sign on you. And what happens is you mix in, and now you blend it, and I can't tell the difference. Amen. Are you hearing me? When you wear certain kind of clothes you have, when you have your pants hanging down, man, I don't care if you say, gee, you look just like the ones I wear right from inside my head. Mm-hmm. You have blended in. See? It's a lifestyle. It's a culture. And they don't understand it. They don't understand it. See? And it's like, man, if you're not into that, why are you hanging there and you're blended in? And number three is this. Listen to me. This is the sad part about it. This is the part that drives me crazy. Because you're trying to help people and they just don't get it. He said, listen, you mix in, then you blend in, and number three is this. You get to a point, you say, listen, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. See, let me tell you something about that. He said, your first thing the enemy trying to get you to do is challenge authority. You need to write that down. His desire is to get you to challenge authority. See, I'm going to tell you, so many young people had no respect for their parents no more at all. Okay? Older people don't have respect for their employers, man. For their relationship, their spouses, they have no respect. Why? Because you get to a point, I mean, think about it, man, and you challenge authority. And you say, listen, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, it's my choice. It's my choice. And I choose to. You hear what I'm saying? That is the arrogance of the church today. We know society's already dead. I'm like, Lord, I'm speaking to my people. Okay? That's the arrogance. You and I, so many Christians have all these alternate lifestyles and they watch what they want to watch, do all these things. They say, listen, because they got to a point now because someone passed this bill or passed that bill and they believe more in them than they do God. And listen to me, and they get to a point and they say whether it's right or whether it's wrong. And I'm not going to argue with you about whether it's right or wrong. They tell me, I ain't going to argue with you about that. It's my choice. You hear me? It's my choice. And I choose to. ... I choose to. And you know what God says? Listen to me. I'm going to tell you what God says. God says, stop. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Because they're right. I gave them a choice. You know what I said to me? I gave them a choice. I gave him a choice. Deuteronomy chapter 28. He said, listen, I gave him a choice. You got a right to choose. Now, you don't understand the consequences of the choice you're going to make now. But you have a right to choose. You can choose life or you can choose death. You can choose blessings or you can choose curses, but you do have a right to make a choice. And that's the arrogance that we're dealing with right now, church. Listen to me for a second. He said, yeah, you have a right to make a choice and you choose. He said, but however, you will not be able to truly begin again if you take that route through the world system. I got to move on quick for time. I said, listen to me, church. I left off right here. This is exactly where I left off at. I said, listen, I must know that position with God is greater than power with the world. And then I have to desire that. I left off with question number 2 was this. Are you in position with God? That was the question I asked y'all when we closed. I said, are you in position with God? Are you? Are you in position with God? And I told you it's extremely important how you answer that question. Are you in position with God? And I said this to you right here. Listen. Always, this is so key. I mean, God gave me things. When I go back over my notes, I get more revelation on it. And listen, God said, always. He said, always seek position. Always. Always. He said, never seek power. You know, you would have half the politicians up there right now. They're all about power, man. All about power. He said, no, you missed it. He said, you missed it. He said, always seek position. He said, never seek power. Listen, he said, why? Because position can open doors that power cannot. And you know, that's what drives me crazy with so many ministries. That's why I'm on fire for these people in the ministry. I'm a bishop. I'm a bishop. Talking about, I'm a reverend doctor. Huh? Bishop. Okay? I'm a bishop. Why are you so caught up being a bishop? It's not even a calling, man. It's an election. It's not even a calling. It's an election. You can choose to be a bishop, man. Well, why are you acting like that? You know who I am? I'm an apostle. Why are you caught up like that? I don't get it. I don't get it. See, I'm talking about the church. Listen. He said, listen. He said, position is alignment. God said, listen, position is alignment. It is a relationship with God to be fully submitted and committed to His will and to His way. He said, that surrender will allow you to begin again and walk into your destiny. I gave y'all a homework assignment. I don't know if you did it or not. I don't know. I'm not going to ask you. I don't have to lay hands on you right now in Jesus' name, okay? Listen to me. I gave you a homework assignment. I gave you a little test to find out if you are in position with God. Number 1 was this. I said, do you prefer to serve or to be served? I said, how do you respond when you are recognized for an achievement? See, I asked that question. God said, you have to have some humility, man. Do you have any humility? How do you respond when you are recognized He said, listen, for an achievement. Number 3 is this. Do you need a platform to minister? Do you? Do you really? See, I mean, if you're supposed to do what God calls, do you need a platform to minister? Are you in position with God? Then I said this to you. I said, listen, where do you find power to help you in a time of need? Where do you find it? Is it on your knees? Huh? Then I said, listen, are you always trying to tell someone what God says? See, everybody always got a word from the Lord. You know, always trying to tell somebody what God says for them. Or do they come and seek you for advice? Then I said, number 6 was this. How is God using you to represent him in the earth realm? Are you in position with God? See, how you answer that one? Are you in position with God? Number 7 was this. How often, this is real good, do you stop speaking? How often do you just shut up? How often do you just close your mouth and stop speaking so that you can hear what God wants to say to you? Number 8, I think, might be the strongest. Listen, how fast do you forgive? You need to ponder on that one. How fast do you forgive? And listen, I'm not finished. And then he said, listen, and make the first move to demonstrate your forgiveness. Well, I know a lot of people from that one. Let's move on quick for time's sake. Write this down, church. Your point number 1 is this. It took me 8 weeks to get to your point number 1. But we finally made it there. We finally made it there. Go ahead and say something, Sister Cynthia. I know you got something to say. Y'all got something to say. Y'all don't know. It says hard living this woman. She's all over me. Lord Jesus. What you say? Listen. Point number 1 is this. He said, listen. Everything I've given you up to this point was foundation. Everything. Everything I've given you for the past 8 weeks was foundation. Everything. And I'm going to tell you right now, even when I give you this point number 1, it's not going to matter if you don't remember the things I gave you foundation. If you cannot go back and look at the 3 steps, see, if you don't know how to stay close to God, man, if you don't understand that it's a position with God greater than the power of the world, if you don't know, listen, the value, see, of what you would gain. See, if you don't know, if you don't understand these things, I'm telling you right now, when I give you, it don't really matter. Point number 1 is this. It's called the journey. The journey to walk in my destiny. The journey. This is your point number 1. I'll tell you, I'm going to give you a concise, organized system. And I'm about to give it to you, church. But I'm telling you right now, it's not going to do any good if you don't go back and look at the foundational things. He said, listen, it's the journey to walk in my destiny. Now I want you to listen to me for a second. That one word. Are you listening? Say amen.
Amen.
That one word, journey. Listen to me. It tells us that it is a process. What I'm going to give you is a process. He said, listen, point 1 is the journey to walk in my destiny. And God said, listen, that one word, he said, it tells you that it's a process. Listen to me now. In this process, he said, listen, I must know, you can write this down. In this process, I must know that failure is not an option. God said, you got to know this one. He said, you got to, because you're in the journey now. You said you wanted to begin again. You said you wanted a fresh start. Oh, God, I want to begin again. God, get me going in the right direction. God, okay, fine. Now you're on the journey. You're on the journey now. He said, the journey is a process. I pray I don't lose none of y'all along in the process. Boy, I'm going to see. I'm going to see. My eyes are open. I'm looking. Rolling to and fro. To and fro. Okay? Listen. He said, listen, that one word, he said, it's journey. It tells us that it's a process. And he said, listen, I must know that failure is not an option. Listen what he said right here. He said, you will have to endure. You like that word? No, you don't like that word, because I don't like that word. He said, you will have to endure. He said, you're going to have to go through. He said, you cannot, this driving me crazy, man. I was praying for more snows. I wouldn't have to come in here today. It just didn't work out. Listen. He said, you just can't up and quit or faint He said, because failure is not an option. Listen to this right here. I'm not even nowhere near finished. Listen. He said, listen, even when the way, God, Lord Jesus, help me. He said, even when the way, he said, even when the leading is not clear. I mean, God said, God, can you help me out, son? He said, no. He said, you're on a journey, man. It's a process. He said, it's a process. He said, even when the way, thank you. He said, even when the, listen to me. He said, even when the leadings, he said, it is not clear. He said, listen, failure is not an option. Did you hear that? He said, listen, what he's saying is this, if you didn't get it. He said, irregardless of the way, what I'm taking you through, he said, irregardless of the way, he said, irregardless, listen to me now, he said, irregardless of the leading, he said, if it doesn't seem clear to you, he said, it's not an option. Failure is not an option. He said, it's not an option. He said, I am pushing you to faith. Did you hear that? He said, I am pushing you to faith. Why did he say that, church? He said, because without faith, it's impossible to please me. So I am pushing you to faith. You said you want to begin again. You said that. Now you got it. You are on the journey. He said, irregardless if the way, he said, listen, if the leading is not clear, he said, I ain't worried about that. I ain't studying that at all. He said, listen to me. He said, listen, faith is not an option. Listen to me for a second. I'm right down what I'm going to tell you what I wrote down what he gave me. Listen. He said, you are now on the journey. Man, you already jumped off the plane, man. You jumped out the plane. You jumped out the plane. Okay? I'm going to tell you like it is. Y'all just keep your heads down. If people understood this when they got married, that's what he said, for better or for worse, they say. Because let me tell you, you did it. You did it. Yeah, I went there. He said, let me tell you. He said, you on a journey, man. I ain't never, you're on a roller coaster ride, right? I never told you that thing gonna be smooth. I never told you that. He said, y'all didn't leave me alone. Let me preach this word. Let me tell you something. He said, I'm telling you right now. He said, I'm telling you right now. Faith is not an option. He said, listen. He said, you are on the journey. And I was trying to say, well, do I really need this? You know, was it that bad a few years ago? Let me think about it. He said, listen, no, you on the journey. And he said, you will have to go through. Now listen to me for a second. When I use that word failure, because I want you to understand this when I say failure is not an option. Excuse me. He said, listen, when I use that word failure, he said, I'm saying, listen now, any interruption. He doesn't know interruption. He said, I'm saying any interruption. He said, listen, that may occur. You know, have you ever been on a roller coaster ride and you go over the chain, click, 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 click. He said, listen, any interruption that may occur. He said, in this process that would cause you not to accomplish your destiny, he said, it's not an option. Not an option. What he's saying is this, church, if you didn't get it. He said, listen, no excuses. No excuses. No excuses. He said, don't let it occur. He said, no excuses. Don't let it occur. Don't say, wait a minute, I was doing well, man, but she did this to me. He did that to me. They said this about me. He said, no. No excuses. No excuses. Don't let it occur. How could he say that to you? But you don't know how they treat me on my job. How can he said, listen, I don't want to hear that. You on a journey. He said, no excuses, man. He said, don't let it occur. How could he say that? I want you to write this down. Listen to me. Why? Because God told me, listen to this. I have pressed, I want you to understand, this is God speaking. This is not me speaking through me. He said, listen, the reason I can tell you failure is not an option. He said, listen, because this is what God said. I'm going to show it to you in the Word. Listen, he said, because God said, listen, I told you. I have pressed the reset button. I told you that. God said, I told you that. He said, I have pressed the reset button. And I have given you the victory. Did you get that? God said, let me tell you something. He said, listen, I told you I have pressed the reset button. I have given you the victory. Now, begin again. Go with me as fast as you can, church. Go with me as fast as you can to Luke chapter 22. Let me show this to you in the scriptures. In Luke chapter 22, if you can't get it, don't worry about it. Just write the scripture down. In Luke chapter 22, I'm going to start reading at verse 32. Listen what he said. He talked to Peter. He said, listen. He said, I'm telling you that failure is not an option. He said, because what? I pressed the reset button. He said, your wife didn't press it. Your husband didn't press it. He said, your employer didn't press it. The church. He said, I have pressed the reset button. Look what he told Peter. He said, listen. He said, Peter, listen. He said, I have prayed for you. Do you understand this when he pressed the reset button? He said, I have prayed for you. See, y'all ain't getting it, man. He said, I have prayed for you. Not the pastor. He said, not your husband, not your wife, not your friends, not your brother. He said, I have prayed for you. He said, do you know who I am? You know who I am? Listen. He said, listen. I went there, didn't I? You got to pray for me, my son. Listen. He said, listen, you know who I am? He ain't more green either, but listen to me. He said, I have pressed the reset button. See, he said, you don't understand. He said, listen, let me help you out a little bit. He said, listen, I have prayed for you. Now, this is God talking. He said, you don't get it, man. He said, failure is not an option. He said, because I have prayed for you. Did you get that, Clinton? He said, I have prayed for you. Come on, say it. I have prayed for you. He said, you got to realize, he said, it was not your mother, it was not your father. That's good. He said, but listen, my prayers get answered. Why? Because I answer them. Are you hearing me? He said, I have prayed for you. He said, that your faith fail not. He said, I prayed for you. He said, man, so I don't care how bad it looks. He said, I don't care if the way doesn't seem clear at all. I don't care if you say the leading, you're not hearing from me clear and all. It doesn't matter, irregardless of that. He said, I have prayed for you, that your faith fail not. He said, that's how I press the reset button. I pray. He said, I prayed for you. Then he said, look what he says next. Look what he says next. Then he said, listen. He said, and when thou art converted. He didn't say if you get changed, man. He didn't say if you come out of this mess financially, Bobby. He didn't say, listen, if you bury things don't go right. Listen, he said, when it's going to change. He said, let me tell you something. You got to understand, I've given you the victory. He said, listen, when you are converted, when you come out of that mess that you're in right now, you always say, keep hope alive. He said, that's how you do it. He says, let me tell you something. So when you come out of this mess, he said, you're going to strengthen your brother. You're going to tell someone else how good God is. Are you hearing me, church? Listen, you got to go to this. That's your assignment. When you are converted, the problem is we run trying to tell everybody all these things we ain't got to work in our own life. See, you're a bad witness. Because then they see other misbehavior. He said, listen, when you are converted, he said, go strengthen your brother. He said, because I've given you the victory. Don't go there. You can write the scripture down, 1 Corinthians 15:57. He said, but thanks be to God. Thanks be to God who gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. He said, I've given you the victory, man. Are you getting this? He said, I've given it to you. I'm getting more excited than y'all, man. I'm telling you, listen to me, man. Because I received this in my heart. He said, listen. He said, why? Because God told me I have pressed the reset button. I have given you the victory. He said, listen, now begin again. He said, listen, then he closed it in Philippians 1:6. And listen, he who began a good work in you, I'm faithful to complete it, man. I'm faithful to complete it because I prayed for you. He said, I prayed for you. Write this down. Your letter A, underneath your number 1 is this. Your letter A, I'm sorry, this is point number 1, the journey. Letter A is this. This is real good when he gave me this one. Letter A is this. It's amazing how he tells me these things. He said, first things first. Did you get that? I mean, this is God talking, man. He said, let me tell you something. He said, now that you're on the journey and you understand that it's a process, he said, listen, first things first. Now, why would God tell you? You know, we say this all the time, first things first. We say it, we don't even think about it. So I kind of asked God, we ain't know first thing first. I'm trying to ask, trying to look out, understood what he was saying. I said,
Lord, bless God, I understand first things will always have to be first, God.
Well, could you help me out on that one a little bit? This is what he showed. Look. He said, listen, first, letter A is this. It is extremely important you get this. He said, first things first on the journey. And I said, why do we say first things first? This is what he shared with me. He said, listen. He said, because you don't design the blueprints. Write this down. He said, you don't design the blueprints after you build the house. Did you get that? He said, you don't design the blueprints after you build the house. He said, listen, but before. He said, did you understand that? I go, I got it, God, I got it. No, you don't. He said, no, you don't. He said, you don't design the blue, because that's why most of us in the mess that we're in now, we leap before we look. Listen, he said, listen, you don't design the blueprints before you build the house. He said, but before. Why? He said, so you can know where and how to begin. Did you get that? Did you get that? He said, that's why I said first things first. You're on a journey, but there's some things you need to know. And he said, that's why I'm telling you. He said, first things first. He said, because you don't design the blueprints. He said, listen, after you build the house. He said, you do it before, so you can know where and how to begin. That's our problem. Some of us right now, we'd be honest. Man, we went out and made some commitments to things. We did some things. We jumped off, man, before we had it all figured out. Mm-hmm. I said, leaving by myself. Okay, I put my hand up. Okay, that's no problem. I'm all right with that. I'm bold enough to admit that. Okay, mm-hmm. See, and we get in situations and circumstances, and then we go back. And I shared with God, if I had just known this in this way. If I had, see, a lot of times we have been taught this way. My assignment is course corrections. So that means you had to be off course. Woo, you had to be off course. You get it corrected. And most people, whatever. Okay? All right? He said, listen to me. He said, so now I'm getting you back on course. So first things first. Then he said this right to me. He said, listen, he said, the reason I say first things first, he said, it's to keep you moving. He says to keep you motivated and it's to get you matured. When you follow my system of first things first, it's to keep you moving. Because see, sometimes we get stagnant and we stop. Because we look at the cares of this world, we get choked up, man. We look at the mistakes that we made. We see things that we said, nothing's changing. And we're wondering when it's going to change and so forth. He said, no, I got to keep you moving. Like running water, I got to keep you moving. And then I want to keep you motivated, excited about traveling down this journey. I told you, embracing the journey. I told you that in the beginning. I keep you motivated. Then he said, to get you to maturity, or be mature. You can write this down right here. Your number one, underneath that letter A is this. Number one is this. Underneath the first things first, number one is this. It's preparation, it's prevention, and it's position. Now, I want to talk to you about that for a second. You can write that down. Underneath the first things first, number one says this. It's preparation, it's prevention, and it's position. Now listen to how he gave it to me. He said, I must have some preparation. God says, first things first, man. See, he's good, man. He's good, Clinton. He's real good. He said, listen, to have first thing first, he said, the first thing you need to do is have some preparation. You're in training, man. You're in training. You're in training. You was in the military, you know that. You were in training. They didn't throw you out there. They gave you training. Okay? He said, you got to have some preparation. Then he went from there and said, listen, then you got to have some prevention. What's prevention? It's protection. You got to have be protected. He said, listen, he said, I must have some preparation. Then he said, I must know some prevention. They taught you how to do hand-to-hand combat, I'm sure, on the end of it. Why? He said, because you have to know some prevention. Then he said, I did all that so you can learn how to live in position. Is that a good God? He said, listen, first things first. I must have some preparation. I must know some prevention so that I can live in position. He said, so that would cause, this is real good, I'm not finished, this is leave number one. He said, that would cause us, I'm probably giving you too much information, but anyway. Listen, I have to do a Joel, listen to me, listen. He said, listen, so that I can cause me to know how to avoid the traps. So it would cause me to know how to avoid the traps, how to avoid, listen, the distractions, and listen, this is real good, and to know how to avoid the sins of yesterday from occupying my life today. That was a lot for that number one. I'm gonna be honest, that's a lot. Just give it to you how I get it. This is how I get it. This is how just put it out. I get it. I just pour it out to you guys. This is how I got it. He said, first things first. He said, because listen, I mean, I told you he's giving us a systematic way to understand, church, how to begin our life again, so that we can walk in this victory that we have. He said, listen, you must have some preparation. You must know some prevention so that you can live in position, so that you can know how to avoid the traps. He said, you must learn how to avoid the traps. Listen to me. He said, you must know how to avoid the distractions. Then he said this, and you must know how to avoid the sins of yesterday from occupying your life today. See, if you don't know that one right there, I'm going to tell you something, church. That same old jumping cop going to creep back into your life again. That same old stuff is going to creep right back into your life again. He said, man, I'm trying to tell you, man. I mean, it's like I said, Clinton, I'm seeing clearly now. I'm understanding, Bob. I'm understanding. I kind of wish I got this 7 years ago. It would have been a lot easier, you know what I mean? It would have helped out a whole lot starting this whole thing up. Listen to me. This is what he said to me. He said, tell them, until they learn this. I'm telling you what he told me. Tell them, until they learn this, he said, it would be impossible for them to walk into their destiny. He said, why? Because their lives will seem like a daily repeat until they learn this. He said they must learn this. They must learn how to have some preparation. They must know some prevention so they can live in position to know how to avoid the traps, to avoid the distractions, and to know how to avoid the sins of yesterday from occupying their life today. I'm going to tell you right now, man, one of my biggest challenges, man, was letting go of the past. Past things I did years ago. And those things come into your mind. See, you might not be physically doing it now, but the thoughts, man, the thoughts come into you. Are you hearing me? See, the thoughts get into your mind. And those thoughts will start to grow until you put them in check and cast those things down, man. He said, listen, that stuff will come right back in there again, and you will find yourself slowly drifting. See? Listen. He said this right here. Listen. He said, there are so many traps. You can call them snares if you like that word better. He said, there are so many traps, snares, that are being thrown our way every day. He said, I'm trying to help you out. It's like on a battlefield, man. The enemy is shooting at you constantly. You're like, when will it stop? My God, it doesn't stop until the war's over. It just doesn't stop until you take over and win. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, okay? It doesn't stop. He said, listen, there are so many traps. There are so many snares, he said, listen, that are being thrown our way every day. He said, listen, to distract us and to cause us, he said, listen to me now, to go back into the sins of yesterday. That's the whole thing that drives me. He said, oh man, phooey on this, man. He said, I can't quit and faint. Watch me. I'm going to quit. I'm going to faint. I'm going to stop this. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. Nobody, that's why so many Christians today, they said, listen, I don't need to come back to church because don't nobody need to do all that stuff, man, to be a Christian. I don't need to do all that. I got saved. I can still go to the party. You told me to have a good time. I'm going to have a good time. Okay? See, I can still go out here and smoke, drink, whatever. I still go to church. I know where I want to go, but I don't think I got to do all that. Okay? He says it's a very narrow road. Be few to find it. Okay? Few to find it. Few to find it. Why? He said, because listen, there are so many traps, snares that are being thrown our way every day to distract us and to cause us to go back into the sins of yesterday. He said, listen to me. There are temptation traps. They're out there, church. There are worry traps. Oh, man, do you know so many people are trapped in their mind of worry? Worrying how I'm going to make it. Worry. He said there's the temptation traps. There are worry traps. He said there are lust traps designed to cause you to stumble and fall. Then he said there are financial traps to get you to get into this, to get you to get into that. He said then there are relationship traps. Whew. So listen to me. He said the enemy wants us to deviate just a little. That's all Satan's trying to do. Let me tell you something real fast before I move on. I'm almost out of time. The enemy understands the power or the bigness in little. You need to write that down. Thank you. The enemy understands the power or the bigness in little. See, he understands little. If he can get you to deviate just a little and to stay on that course of just a little, he knows he's not going to get everybody to jump off and do some crazy sins. But he just gets you off course just a little. See? That's why the Bible says in Galatians 5 and 9, a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump, man. And Satan understands that. We don't understand that. He said, well, I wasn't doing much. I mean, it was just a little. But he understands the power and the bigness in a little. Are you hearing me? Got to move on, church. I'm almost out of time. Listen to me. Listen to me. Here's a passing question for you. Here's a passing question. You can write this passing question down. So how do I avoid the traps? How do I avoid the traps? How do I do it? See, if this is what needs to be done, then I must have some preparation. I must know some prevention so that I can live in a position, so I can avoid the trap. How do I avoid the traps? I'm glad you asked. Write this down. If you want to know how to avoid these traps, number one is this. As far as I probably won't get today, number one is this. Don't forget about God. Man, when he gave that one to me, I was like, huh? He listened to me. He said, if you want to know how to avoid the traps, if you want to know how to avoid the distraction, he said, if you want to know how to avoid the sins of yesterday from occupying your life today, he's listening. I mean, it was like an almighty God was pleading with me. He said, don't forget about God. Did you hear me? He said, don't forget about God. Listen what he said. He said, seek and keep God first in your life. Two things. He says, seek and then keep God first in your life. Did you get that? Listen to me. I'm not finished. I'm going to wrap this part up. Listen to me. He said, listen. He said, don't forget about me. Please don't forget about me. He said, listen. He said, because if you do, he said, it will affect how you hear. Listen. He said, it will affect how you see. And then he said, it will affect how you believe. He said, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. Go real fast. We're going to have to stop right here, church. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 8. Deuteronomy. If you can't get it, don't worry about it. Just write it down. Deuteronomy chapter 8. Because it broke my heart, man. It broke my heart. It broke my heart when God said this to me. He said, listen to me. He said, don't forget about me, man. He said, don't forget about me. He said, don't forget about me. He said, if you want to know how to have a successful life, he said, don't forget about God. Deuteronomy chapter 8, I'm going to begin reading verse 11. Listen. Beware. He starts off with a caution. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God in keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. Here's the reason, church, because I tell you, God's going to bring us through, man. I know he is. He said, listen, verse 12, lest when thou hast eaten and you are full. He said, let me tell you something, man. When I turn this thing around, you said you've been broke for so long. He said, let me tell you something. I'm going to turn that thing around. He said, but listen, don't forget about me. He said, listen, you said you've been in a rough relationship. He said, man, I'm going to turn that thing around. Don't forget about me. That's all he said. Don't forget about me, man. He said, let me tell you something. You said your body been misbehaving. You've been in pain. You've had sickness. You've had lack. He said, don't forget about me when I turn that stuff around. don't forget about me. You got to stay with me on this one. I'm going to wrap it up right here. Listen to me. He said, listen, lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and you have built goodly houses, you got some money now, listen, and you dwell therein. And he said, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply. He said, I'm telling you now, God let me know it's going to multiply. I'm going to turn this thing around. You better stay here. I'm going to tell you like it is. I know where the anointing is. It's right here. I'm going to tell you something. He said, let me tell you something. Listen. He said, listen to me. He said, when thy herds and thy flocks multiply. Listen right here. It's in the word. He said, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied. When you got money, honey. He said, listen, when things come together, I mean, you out of that poverty, you out of that lack. He said, when your silver and, I mean, he called it like it is. He said, when your silver and gold is multiplied, and all that you have, oh, stop it, stop it. He said, all that you have is multiplied. Don't forget about me, man. That's all I'm saying. Don't forget about me. That's all I'm asking you, is don't forget about me. Listen to this right here, church. I got to wrap this up. Listen, I'm out of time. Listen. He said, it's multiplied. He said, then thy heart be lifted up. See, your heart is lifted up. And you forget the Lord thy God. He said, listen, which brought thee out of. I brought you from out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. You forget all that God has done for you, because I'm back on my own 2 feet now. See? You hear what I'm saying? He said, listen, first things first, man. Don't forget about me. If you want to avoid all these traps, I'm out of time. He said, let me tell you something. He said, listen, he said, don't forget about me. He said, don't forget about me. I have to pick up it next time we get together. I'm out of time. Let me tell you something. God is pleading with you. He said, listen, don't forget about God, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which your fathers knew not, and he humbled you, and that he might prove you to do good in the latter end. And thou say in thy heart, you say it in your heart, you don't say it out of your mouth, you say it in your heart, my power. I hit that number, man. My power. I gave that dollar, but oh, my power. See? God ain't financing that anyway, just let you know that. Okay? But you get caught up. And you think, whatever happens, listen to me. I got that job on my own. My household, I straightened it out. I started working, I lost the weight, I did this. And thou say in thy heart, my might, my hand have got me this wealth. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God. He said, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth. I got to close, church. I'm trying to get out of here. And it shall be that if thou do it all, forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods and serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day that you shall surely perish. God said, don't forget about God. You can start it, man, because I'll keep on going for you. I'm going to tell you right now. God said, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. That's all I'm asking you. If you want to know how to avoid the traps, you want to know how to avoid the distractions, if you want to know how to avoid the sins of yesterday from occupying in your life today, just don't forget about God. Keep first things first. But right now, I got to talk to those who may listen to my web, on CD and online. Everybody else, I want your heads bowed and eyes closed. I got to talk to you. I want you to understand something. I can't ask you not to forget about God. You might not even know God. So what I want to say to you is this, and my heart is pleading to you. If there's something in this message that you've heard, if something has pricked your heart, if something has caught your attention, it was the Holy Spirit of God. He's pleading to you. He said, accept me to be your Savior and your Lord. So if you want to do that right now, I want you to repeat after me and say, Father, would you forgive me of my sins? Lord Jesus, would you cleanse me of my unrighteousness? God, I want to be a Christian. Make me more like you. Fill me full of your Holy Spirit. Baptize me in your Spirit. I receive Jesus Christ as my Savior and as my Lord. If you just repeat it after me, I want to take time and say thank you. And welcome to the body of Christ. Get back in contact with that person that gave you that CD. If you're listening to me online, email us back at loveredeemme.org. We'll be happy if not hilarious, to tell you about your new walk with Christ. So the next time, we're praying for you. And we love you. And remember one thing.